Who's a quarterback in the league now that you're like, he's mechanically like the Sistine Chapel? Like, this guy's he's a textbook thrower, mover in the pocket.
Yeah, it'd be Joe Burrow is the first one. So I've been working with Joe since his junior year in college.
Yeah.
And what we've done is just taken momentum out of his game. So even LSU Joe that went nuts and, had the best year we've ever seen, he did not use the ground to move, and his arm's gotten, I would say, 25% more velocity. And we track it. We'll use. I have a chip in the ball with Wilson. I have a partnership with Wilson, so we chip in the ball. We look at 3 data points. So one is velocity, one is spin rate, so RPMs, and velocity is just miles per hour. And then spiral efficiency. It's an algorithm and it's nerdy, but basically 100 is a perfect spiral and 1 is like a helicopter. And so we can monitor those things. And then I use a lot of 3D motion capture, the company called Biometric. And so we're able to actually like see the root cause of things. And so we just start with the body and how you move, and how we start literally from the ground up. How do you use the ground? And so what's happened with Joe is when I watch Joe and we work throughout the year, we're really looking at inefficient movements. And maybe it's like just on maybe it was a complete and it was a dime, but like, where are the inefficiencies coming up? Where are we losing stability? And so I look at a quarterback, we got to do 3 things. We got to start in a place of stability. Most of these guys are in gun. We have to have an efficient first movement, and that means different things based off what that movement is. And then we have to maintain stability throughout the movement. So whether that's 3 and a hitch, 5 and a hitch, play action, RPO, the bubble screen to the right, are we actually maintaining stability throughout the movement? And so honestly, like draft training, I get these guys for like work-wise about 2.5 months. I take the ball out of their hands the first 2 weeks. We learn how to move. And how we move is I put force in the ground to create leverage, to push my hips in the direction I want to go. And that plays out in every single position. And so I've studied golf.
Force through the ground. That's O-line. That's like O-line. Being in your insteps and driving your force through the ground and generating power. Like now I'm thinking about Joe Burrow hitting darts outside the numbers. You know what I mean? That's where he excels right now. He's dominant outside the numbers, and that's all arm strength.
Well, where he excels to me, and I'm out of class right now, I'm out of my depth, but and I'm glad he trained him because I want to compliment him, because as a defensive lineman, I watch his pocket mobility and the efficiency with which he moves in the pocket. And when he first came out, I was one of the first people to say this, and people called me crazy. He reminds me of Tom Brady. Because Tom Brady, like watching Tom Brady move in the pocket and there's no wasted movement. He's always from a position of strength, and Joe's athletic as fuck. Like he can get out and run and tuck it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't, it just these subtle shifts, and like his eyes are always downfield. It's like watching a magician work back there. I mean, everything he does, there's no wasted movement.
And I'll challenge anybody watching this, find me a clip and add me on Twitter where you can find him without 2 hands on the ball.
Yeah, he's fucking. It's like he's the perfect like marriage of like perfect technique, but also just he's got that dog.
I said about confidence.
He's a technician. He's
right there at the top. I'm not going to rank him because I work with a couple of guys at his level. I ain't ranking him, but he's in the mix.
Yeah. They know the ranking. They
all are ranked number 1.
They show up because Joe showed up. They're like, hey, I get to work with Jordan and Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Listen to the full podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast streaming platforms. Wherever you want to get the podcast, you can get the podcast. Pretty simple. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Podcasts get pretty wild. This is real tame.